This episode is sponsored by Wondrium. Stick around till the end of the video to learn more about it. Oh my god, I'm dying. I would not be able to get through a day. Hello, brains. I have heard that ADHD TikTok is a wonderful, exciting place. I actually haven't gotten to explore as much of it as I would like. So today I'm gonna watch some ADHD TikToks and react. This is ADHD TikTok 01.
Did you get anything done today?
Yes!
No.
Oh.
Okay. Did you at least rest and relax today? Somehow.
I know where this is going. Yeah, I'm actually getting better at recognizing when I'm having a bad brain day and accepting I'm not going to get a lot done today. So on those days, I'll either decide to rest and recharge. That doesn't usually happen. Or more likely, I will figure out what's getting in the way of me doing the things and take care of that. So if I'm really overwhelmed and my environment's really cluttered and I can't work, I might declutter my environment. So I'm not getting done the thing that I wanted to get done, but I am removing obstacles so that I'll have an easier time of it tomorrow. Unless I have a deadline, in which case I'm good. I can work. Katiosaurus.
We often get a bad rap for not being able to finish what we start. For instance, I need to clean the kitchen. But the way that my brain processes information makes handling a task like this really challenging. Like I said, I need to clean the kitchen. And today that looks like doing the dishes and clearing off the counters and cleaning the floor.
I already like this strategy a lot because post-it notes to remind us what it is that we're actually supposed to be doing. Super helpful. I'm excited to see where this goes.
But let's keep going. So we come over here to the dirty dishes where I realize that I have to clear these dishes and I have to empty the dishwasher in order to give myself enough room to even do the dishes. While I'm putting away those dishes, I realize that there's a bunch of stuff on the counter that I need to take care of. And while I'm putting that stuff away, I realize that I haven't watered my plants in a while. I'm giving the plants some water and I find a bill that I haven't paid yet. And so here we are with cleaning the kitchen, starting with the dishes, transforming magically into 6 or 7 separate tasks, during which any of them I might get distracted or lose focus.
Yeah, this is actually really important to recognize. Most of the things that we consider a single task are not actually a single task. Clean the kitchen might automatically subdivide itself into those tasks, but for us, clean the kitchen feels like it's not a doable task. And so having to break it down manually into those separate parts is often really important. And even breaking it down further than that can be really helpful.
It's not that I'm lazy or unmotivated. It's that I look at my kitchen and I see 10,000 tasks I could do. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. It is. It's overwhelming. Yeah, so many tasks are overwhelming. So one of the rules that I have for myself personally is if a task doesn't feel doable or if my day doesn't feel doable, I have to narrow it down because we're divergent thinkers. We think of all of the things. And so if you, clean the kitchen involves all of the things. It doesn't, it's not like I'm going to go clean my kitchen and I know that that means go and wash the dishes. I have to narrow that down manually. So yeah, Katiosaurus, nicely done.
Hit it. Hit it. Hit it, get it, get it, get it, get it, ow, ow, yeah, boom, boom, bow, bow, boom, boom.
Ooh, okay, that's brilliant. Sit-stand desks, yes. I have a sit-stand desk. I will never go back to not having a sit-stand desk. Treadmill desk is not something that I've done, but I think I'm gonna get the same thing. But this is brilliant. I've never seen the treadmill desk and then you just put a chair on top of it. That's super brilliant. Having the ability to move while you work is important for anybody, but especially if you have a brain like ours, because that movement helps us focus better. I'm so impressed with ADHD TikTok. Like, really, this is cool. I love how much knowledge there is out there now. So many good ideas.
Such a chill guy. How do you have ADHD? Okay. You're supposed to be like hyperactive. No, my environment forced me to internalize all my hyperactivity and mask all my symptoms to make society more comfortable. Just stop masking. I appreciate that, but the mask is ingrained in my brain. It's second nature. It's gonna be a lot harder to rip off than you'd think. And actually, sometimes I lose sight of who I actually am. You're not a sociopath? Nope, just ADHD.
Aw. Oh, I'm so sad, Connor. Oh, yeah. It's true. Sometimes we mask so much that we forget how to just be ourselves or who ourselves is because we've been cutting off little pieces of ourselves for so long to fit in. That's one of the things that's really cool about being around other people with ADHD, I've noticed, is we slowly start to remember how to be us. It's kind of cool. That one made me sad.
Out to play ball so we could ruin them.
Okay. I'm immediately suspicious of this one. 5 things you didn't know you were doing because of ADHD. Okay, I haven't watched this yet. This is not a commentary on the specific TikTok, but I have seen this trend. And the concern that I have is sometimes people think, oh, I do that thing. That means I have ADHD. And there's actually a lot of reasons why you might do a behavior. Somebody with ADHD might do these things, but that doesn't mean if you do these things, you have ADHD. So be cautious with these. Part 4. Cracking your knuckles could also be anxiety, motor tics, all kinds of things. Mini panics due to minor things, also anxiety, panic disorder. All right. Always in a hurry and still late. I mean, I definitely relate to that. High caffeine consumption. You could just be in college. But yeah, ADHDers do tend to find ways to self-medicate. That's really important to be aware of. And because stimulants tend to help us, caffeine is a stimulant. So there's something there. But just because you're drinking a lot of coffee doesn't mean you have ADHD. Constantly fighting the inner chaos. These are so vague, you guys. I don't have a problem with this TikToker specifically. I have a problem with this trend. I just want to make that really clear because a lot of these things are so vague that everybody's going to think they have ADHD. Here's the other problem with that trend. I can speak to myself personally. A lot of the things that I thought were my ADHD when I first started learning about ADHD, it turns out were actually exacerbated or because of my anxiety or my trauma history. So not everything that we struggle with is our ADHD. People with ADHD more often than not have a comorbidity, have anxiety, have depression, have autism, learning disabilities. So while somebody with ADHD might struggle with these things, not everything that they struggle with is the ADHD. Sometimes it's the other conditions, sometimes it's exacerbated by the other conditions. I have a motor tic disorder, really common with ADHD, but when I cracked my arm, that's not ADHD, that's the motor tic disorder. So it's just important to be aware of that. While they can be related, it's not necessarily like everyone with ADHD does this, you know?
Today I googled ADHD hacks in a half-hearted attempt to manage the chaos, and I stumbled across this
ADHD
absolute
hacks.
gem. 41 hacks that help people with ADD or ADHD work and feel better. And I know what you may be thinking, is this satire? Because one thing that does not help me feel better is the idea of having to retain and read any of these 41 hacks. So let's look at the highlights.
Yeah, remembering 41 hacks. But if you're not aware, ADD is an outdated term. When we talk about ADHD, we are also including the more internalized presentation that used to be referred to as ADD. ADHD is an umbrella term for all of it now.
Do you struggle with organization? Don't. Use tools to limit your internet presence. I do this. I allow myself 10 minutes, after which a polite message appears telling me that the limit has been reached. I respond by immediately hitting the ignore limit button and returning to my videos about sheep shearing. Don't try to work too long. I think this is brilliant advice. Could you speak to my supervisor about this? Feeling emotional or stressed? Calm down first. No, thank you. And finally, laughter is a great thing. And you know what? I couldn't agree more. Thank you for the comedy.
Oh my God, no, really? Oh God. Okay, I didn't want to say this at the beginning. Sometimes people still use the outdated term ADD, but there's always a red flag that goes up if somebody's using the term ADD and then has 41 hacks. I was hopeful that these would still be good, but these are so bad. Like so bad. And the explanation, right? So feeling emotional or stressed, calm down first. Do not take on a task until there's I would not be able to get through a day. Like, I would not be able to live if I had to wait until I was not emotional to do anything. No. These are ridiculous. I want to read this article. It's so bad. Hang on, I gotta Google this. 41 hacks. Always hold on to your to-do list. Sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna be able to keep track of everything that I intend to keep track of. Keep your things organized. That's amazing. Yep. Thanks. I have extreme organizational challenges to the point that if I do set up organizational systems, actually using them and continuing to use them effectively while also living my life is nearly impossible. But I'll just go ahead and do that. Oh my God, pay all of your bills at once. Cool, yeah, I'll just go ahead and have all the money in the world. This is the worst article for ADHD I have ever seen. Oh my God. I'm dying. Oh my God. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna go back to the TikToks now for the good advice. Oh my God. I have to email this to myself. Look, I am a nice person usually. I am so encouraging of everybody's efforts to educate others about things that work for them. But my God, If you don't know what you're talking about with ADHD, please don't publish things about it, because it makes those of us who are trying to figure this out for ourselves feel terrible, because we're like, oh, I should just be able to do that. Give it a shot. I'll just try harder. And it doesn't work. Don't give advice that's terrible. Okay, I'm going to email this to me and then everybody I know.
My daily routine with ADHD. Wake up. Do nothing for 5 hours. Panic. Do stuff in a panic for 1 to 2 hours. Hyperfixate on one thing for 4 hours. Make sure it's the wrong thing. Let the existential dread set in. Make a pact with myself to break out of this pattern tomorrow.
You have to get everything done, man.
Repeat pattern tomorrow.
Oh my God, I want to give her a hug. Yeah, there are days. There are days. If this is your everyday, meds. May I recommend meds? But there are days. Even on meds, I'm not going to lie, there are days.
When people say, you don't have ADHD, I would have seen the sign.
Would you now?
Here we go, part 4.
Poor reading comprehension. Okay, this is another one. This is another one. I don't have poor reading comprehension. I was actually scoring post-high school on standardized tests by the 2nd grade on my reading comprehension. It varies from person to person. Lazy, okay, I will say this, like consistently across the board, people who have ADHD are often labeled lazy growing up, and that's because it's what Dr. Barkley calls a motivation deficit disorder. Engaging our brains in something that we're not interested in is really challenging, and so it can look like lazy from the outside. But again, this can apply to other things. People who are depressed and don't have the motivation to do things, who are dealing with anhedonia, decreased pleasure, not feeling pleasure in their daily activities, can also look lazy. Although I do feel like at this point, having been called lazy or labeling yourself as lazy growing up should almost be part of the diagnostic criteria, because it is so common. Forgetting what I was saying mid-sentence. So this one I actually do like a lot better than the other one, because a lot of these are fairly specific to ADHD. Again, they can exist in other diagnoses as well. But the working memory challenges that come with ADHD mean we often do forget what we're talking about while we're trying to talk about it, which is one of the reasons why I have a really good editor. I still don't love this trend because, again, a lot of things can be ADHD or they can be something else. But I will say that this one was pretty good. A lot of things were very common in ADHD, and there were enough of them that I don't think most people would probably watch it and feel like they relate to all of them unless they do struggle with those things. So yeah, still don't love this trend, but this is pretty good.
What people think having
Hey, Danny, what's up?
ADHD is like. OMG squirrel.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
This email is really important. Why do I keep avoiding it? Why can't I
Wall of
get
awful.
myself to put this stuff away? Still haven't bought groceries, pretzels for breakfast again. When's the last time I drank water? What's the least dirty thing I can wear? My phone is on 1%. Why won't my body go get my charger?
Oh, yeah. I like that because it shows, well, okay, I'm biased because Danny's my friend and I love her. But what I like about this one is that it shows that ADHD is a lot more than being hyperactive and easily distracted. There's a lot of internalized stuff that other people might not even realize that we struggle with. This video kind of shows the impact too. It's not just about getting distracted. It's not just about having organizational challenges. It's what those things lead to and the chaos that our lives often end up in, where if we haven't done the self-care stuff and we haven't done the organizational stuff, then we do end up eating pretzels for breakfast and not really caring because, like, also we totally forgot to brush our teeth last night. And also, you know, yeah, we're digging through the laundry hamper for clothes that aren't dirty because, like, we've washed the same clothes on the washing cycle, like, 3 times and keep forgetting to put them in the dryer. This stuff adds up. And I like Danny so much for her authenticity, for her showing how, like, just the realness and the rawness of what living with ADHD is really like on a daily basis. Yeah, I love her. By the way, one of the things that I struggle with a lot is worrying and rumination. And yep, Wondrium has a lecture on that. I've talked a lot about Wondrium before. It's the rebrand of the Great Courses Plus, and it's designed for curious brains. Whenever I want to learn something in depth, I check there first because they have a ton of courses, how-tos, tutorials, documentaries. Wondrium is where you can find the answer to pretty much everything you've ever wondered about. I found this episode on worrying in a course about CBT, and it absolutely blew my mind. I learned that people who have generalized anxiety disorder, like me, tend to have a really low tolerance for uncertainty. No one had ever explained to me before, but he explained it really well.
Worry is a cognition, but behaviorists would tell us that it's a cognitive behavior. It's an internal behavior. From the surface automatic thoughts to lower conditional assumptions, and then at the core beliefs that we hold at our center.
And he suggested CBT exercises that can help.
I'm going to give you a list of words and ask you to classify the word as either an emotion, a behavior, or a cognition.
The information on Wondrium is consistently solid because the courses are taught by experienced professors and experts in their field, and it's an incredibly convenient way to learn. Wondrium is offering a free trial right now, and they're regular supporters of this show, so by supporting them, you're also supporting us. If you'd like to try it out, go to wondrium.com/howtoadhd or click on the link in the description below to start your free trial today. All right, ADHD TikTok, I see you. Some good stuff over there. I laughed, I cried, I learned, I disagreed. We're over on ADHD TikTok as well. You can follow us and let me know if you disagree with something that I say, because I think it's great that we're always learning. Thank you to my brain advocates and all my Patreon brains for allowing me to have a team that can find things for me to react to, because it'd be really hard to react to things if I'd already seen them. So thank you guys. Like, subscribe, click all the things, and I will see you in the new year. Bye, brains.